All right, so today I want to talk about how I shot my latest short film. All right, so my latest short film is called The Love Below. It's available to stream on both of my YouTube channels. You can watch it on my Pierre Cohen channel, which is my secondary channel, or my 11 Power channel, which is my primary YouTube channel. Man, so this story was it's an interesting one. So I'll just, start right off the top. So right off the gate, I'll let you know it is based on a true story. When it comes to different content that I like to create, I'm usually pulling from different experiences and things that I've actually went through, which I guess can be a good and can be a bad thing. But what happened was I had went to a restaurant and I saw an old friend, and essentially from that brief interaction, like later that night, I had the idea, and literally I just wrote like about 8 pages, maybe it was 9 pages, 8 or 9 pages. I'll maybe put like a picture of the script so you can just kind of see, but I wrote it and boom, this is what I came up with. Now the title, I'm a 90s baby, so the title actually comes from Under 3000. So the title comes from Andre 3000. Remember the speaker box in The Love Below when him and Big Boy dropped that double album Outcast? So that's actually where I got the title from. Some people might know that, some people might not. But with me, if you know anything about me, whether you follow me on Instagram or any platform, music is life. Music is core to me. So it was cool just to kind of give it a little nod to Outkast. We in the South. Of course, they're in Atlanta. I'm in Houston, but we're in the South. At the end of the day, it's the third coast. So it was always cool to like pay a little homage to them. Man, so The Love Below, it's a very simple story. It's about a man who runs into someone, and basically running into them kind of kicks off a chain of events. Spoiler alert. So he actually sees this woman out, and basically it kind of sparks his mind. Okay, one thing I should explain, the very first scene in the movie is also like the last scene in the movie. So I want y'all to keep that in mind. When you watch the first scene in the movie, when it's showing the eyes, and then look at that last scene. That's why I made the color like that. Those scenes are connected. So the movie is kind of starting in reverse. Essentially, what happened was, or not starting in reverse. Well, I'm mixing it up, but essentially it was a chain of events, right? And the chain of events stem from that initial scene, which is the guy seeing the guy and the girl on a date. So from seeing the guy and girl on a date, it kind of sparks his mind to say, you know what? Let me see if I can get that old thing back. I don't know if y'all caught that line in the movie, but yeah, he wants to see if he can get that old thing back. And I felt like honestly that was something that a lot of people could relate to. Sometimes you see people from your past and you're just like, you know what if? So that's kind of what made me kind of go down that line and write it. All right, so when it comes to the vision for this short film, number one, I knew I wanted to shoot on Anamorphic. I had just got this new Anamorphic lens, and I was like, you know what? One thing I like about Anamorphic is just the professionalism, the quality, the way it looks. It's just different. I wanted it to stand out. When people watched it, when the trailer came out originally, I wanted people to be like, damn, you know what I'm saying? What is this? Like, what is going on? Yeah, so I wanted people to be like, what is this? I wanted to give it a distinct look. I feel like when you watch short films, especially, independent black films to be exact, production quality is usually where we lack. And honestly, it's the hardest part, mainly because it takes the most. You know what I'm saying? You have to get people who not only believe in the vision, who understand equipment. Sometimes you have to pay people. It's different things like that. And if you know anything about me, I'm an independent, low budget filmmaker, meaning all of this is coming out of my pocket. And most of my short films rely on the camera skills I've developed over time. All right, so aside from Anamorphic, I wanted to do like some unique colors. The color, because when you watch a film, the color palette and the sonics are really what stand out to you. Or I won't say, yeah, they're one of the things that stand out. So you can take basically a regular scene, and I'll just give you an example. I'll post an example on the screen, but you can take a regular scene, or you can make it a great scene. And usually if you add some color into it the right way, it just makes it look way more professional. So with me, I was definitely going for a moody color palette. I knew I wanted to do a party scene. I knew I wanted to incorporate different colors and different elements into the film. In terms of the sonics, so the way I like to write my script specifically, when I'm writing, I like to think of music in mind. I feel like music is like a soundtrack to life. Music really helps you kind of to like not only convey a message, but music just kind of helps people feel it. So actually, I had took a trip to LA towards the end of last year. I was on a plane, and everybody knows when you go to LA, you have a lot of fun, right? So I got on this plane, I had my AirPods in, and I just remember going at the airport, just put the phone on shuffle, Spotify on shuffle, and boom, I heard that Steve Lacy song, which is that See You Girl. I think at the time I was just starting to get into Steve Lacy and kind of catching what his music was. I was listening to his old music, And from there, I found a bunch of songs that kind of spoke to me, and I was like, you know what? I think this can speak to an audience. Some of the songs actually were produced by, local artists here in Houston, so I like to mix those in. And then I took a couple songs that were already kind of popular that I felt like were a little bit underground, like Kate, like that. When I found Kate back in like 2018, Natural Woman is just a great song that I feel like is overlooked. So boom, I know I wanted to use that. And there are several other songs. Of course, I put my artist Tobacco Ryan into the fold as well, which he also stars into the movie. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But I put Peyton on there, Golden Child, different local artists, and then also a couple artists to mix it in. But I feel like music helps people become familiar with the project, right? So it's like even if you don't, even if you don't. So I feel like the way music works, even if it's even if it's a film or something you're not familiar with, when you hear a song that you like, it speaks to you. All right, so now I want to talk about just how like I location scouted for the film and what really spoke to me. So a little bit of a backstory about me. I went to a college out here in Houston, U of H. So I'm very, very familiar with the campus. I know exactly what the campus looks like, 100%. So I knew for this film, I wanted to have a group setting, which was going to be a party scene. I know I wanted to get some outside scenes, which ended up being the University of Houston. And then I knew I also wanted to use some drone footage. So the drone footage was actually taken from that initial LA trip. So the intro shots I actually shot in LA. If you know your landscapes and stuff like that, then you would have been able to recognize LA. If not, I just put you on game. Get your drone footage from over there, put it on your movie, and combine it. So yeah, I knew I wanted to do okay. So yeah, aside from filming those drone shots in LA, I knew I wanted to have like a group set in a party scene, and I know I wanted to get some outdoor shots. So what I did was I hopped on Airbnb. Boom, I'm searching for different spots, and a lot of people notice about Airbnb. I mean, I thought about actually doing a house party. A little bit about me, I used to throw house parties, but I was like, nah, you know what? We retired from that. But so really, I just went on Airbnb and I ended up chatting with a host, and I found a property. I'm like, hey, this is what I would like to do. Are y'all cool with that? Turns out the people that owned the home, they were actually creators and painters themselves. So they were like, yeah, we're 100% cool with that. Just make sure you don't mess up our place. Cool, whatever. Boom. So that was easy. And I already knew, like I said, by doing the Airbnb, I knew I wanted to do like a specific, I wanted it to be party setting, right? So if you can see, I went with like the blue and the purple kind of tone. I'm not sure what to call it, but I believe it's blue and purple. So that's why like you will see like right here where it's like blue and purple, because that's what I was going for. I wanted it to feel like a kickback. One of the things, if you know anything about throwing parties and just having fun in general, the biggest issue is getting people there. So with this specific party, I wanted to really highlight that, you know what, we threw a kickback, but nobody really showed up. Just to kind of poke fun at that, because if anybody ever's been to a party, that's something we pretty much all have experienced. We've all went to, I mean, well, not necessarily parties that I've thrown, but we've all been to a party or a function that wasn't lit. So I wanted this to be a not lit function, because I purposely wanted these two people to have to speak to each other at this function, which is why it wasn't a lot of people there in the story. All right, so now I want to talk about casting. So for me, I've been shooting music videos and just doing videography for years. So I'll be straight up. Whenever you do videography, cinematography, whatever you want to call it, you're going to meet a ton of people. So with this particular film, because it's my first time using that anamorphic lens, and I was really like, you know what, I want to make sure this looks the way that I have in my head, like it looks the way that I have envisioned. I went with people that I knew. So I casted everybody that I had previously worked with the exception of Lauren, and also, yeah, actually, I think Lauren was the only person that I hadn't worked with. Tara I had already worked with. Tobacco I had already worked with. Of course, me and Dr. Shadow go way back to the So Far Close series. So if you check that out on YouTube, you'll definitely, it's a little bit of a history lesson. Let me see. Yeah, most of the people I had worked with previously before. So the casting was pretty easy. I would say in terms of your casting, Instagram is really the best tool to use. There are a ton of people on Instagram. I think in being a good director, you want to bring the best out of people. That's definitely something that I need to work on. Yeah, I would say Instagram is probably the best place when it comes to casting. Instagram or Facebook. Of course, there are other mediums, but I like to connect with like-minded people. Being an independent filmmaker, I want to connect with people who are trying to do similar things, or actually, on the path trying to figure out things they want to do. Or I want to connect with people who showcase that they do have a strong passion and a strong desire, because at the end of the day, You want to work with people who do have a passion to go forward in life, just in general. Positive attitudes only. So now let's talk about what's some things that I would have done differently. Number one, I would have definitely put it out sooner. I think, I've been sitting on this short film for a couple months at this point. I'm just like, it's never a perfect time. Da, 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 it's not perfect. When is it going to be perfect? What I've realized is even when it comes to like film festivals and stuff like that, and I'll talk about those more in the future. A lot of these different things that are like creator tools are really designed to kind of are just money grabs at the end of the day. Like they're just cash grabs. So for me, I was like, you know what? Let me submit it to a couple film festivals. And don't get me wrong, it got selected for 2. But what I realized is like the bigger the festivals are, if you don't really have a strong executive producer attached to your product, there's really no point in submitting. I think building your own fan base through social media is probably the best way to do so. Number one, I definitely would have put it out sooner. Number two, I felt like I could have challenged my actors more. Don't get me wrong, I like their performances and I like what we brought to the table, but I feel like as a part of being a director is challenging people to bring the best out of them, giving them a little bit more direction. So I definitely would have challenged them just a little bit more because it's a couple scenes that I really like, but I'm like, you know what? I definitely see what could have been done better. So that's something we're going to consistently work on. Number three, I would say audio is something you're always improving with filming because audio is just so complex. Even when you're running an audio interface, got the boom mic, it always can be better. So audio is just something that I feel like you can never get right until you can afford to really just have somebody who's like an audio whiz doing it. But when you're doing it independent, it's something you're going to continue to get better at. So that's an area that we're definitely going to invest more time into. And I would say, honestly, those are the only 3 things that I would really do differently. Because at the end of the day, I really liked it. I liked how it came out. A lot of people have liked it as well. But at the end of the day, as a creator, as a filmmaker, as somebody who enjoys working with cameras, from me to you, we're perfectionists. And sometimes that's the problem. It's all about putting out your work and just continuing to get better and evolve at it. That's really what we have to do. We can't chase perfectionism. The whole being a perfectionist thing is really what holds us back. So I think, nothing's ever going to be perfect, but hey, as long as you're progressing, that's really all that matters. So, hey, if you got a short film, don't be like me. Don't spend so much time trying to figure out how to put it out. Just put it out, continue to shoot and keep on working. Okay. So what's next? So I actually am getting ready to shoot another short film on June 25th here in Houston. And what's next for me is really just putting out more content, more work, more behind the scenes like this. I want to give people the real insight as to what it's like, because a lot of the times what holds us back is we overthink. So more content for sure. I'm shooting a short film later this month, and I'm probably going to drop it honestly in July or August. And I just have more. I'm just going to keep just putting out the different projects that that I have in my mind. And also, if you have a great idea, I'm the type of person you can reach out to me. If you're local, if you're in the city, if I like your idea, we could definitely bring it to life and we could work something out. So, hey, if you got ideas, this is your sign to hit me up too. All right. So, and lastly, what I want to talk about is, streaming options. So right now you can stream The Love Below on this YouTube channel or on that YouTube channel. Remember I said I got 2, Pierre Coin page and the 11 Power page. So it is available on both of those platforms. Eventually we're going to get some work on some of these bigger platforms, but for right now, you can stream it on both of my YouTube channels. Let me know what you think. Drop comments below. Also, let me know, if you have any specific questions, if there's anything that I can potentially help you with or anything that I can make clear. For me, this content is just all about being transparent and really letting people see my process and helping them to really see kind of what it takes to build up. So with that being said, watch my latest short film. Let me know what you think. If you like it, if you hate it, if you love it, what you would have done. I'm all for feedback. I'm curious to see what you think and what you would do. So at the end of the day, hey, have a good day. And let's just keep it pushing. Hey, more content coming soon. We're going to get it. We're going to keep hustling. Let's go.